Hello, everybody, and welcome to whatever this is. I'm not really sure exactly what I'm going to be doing here because I don't usually do this sort of stuff, but we just had like a bunch of Star Wars stuff announced. I fucking love Star Wars, and I'm really excited at the moment. I'm very, very hyped. It's the middle of the night for me here, but I'm very excited, so I just thought I'd do a stream, kind of go over what was announced at Star Wars Celebration just now with the movies and the TV stuff still going on, and I imagine we'll get more news throughout the weekend. But I'm just really excited, and I just wanted to talk about it because I fucking love Star Wars. So we're going to get right into it, and we're just going to talk about. There's not going to be really any direction for this. I'm just going to talk about like all stuff, all out of order stuff I really fucking liked. And the first thing we're going to talk about, obviously, is the Ahsoka trailer. Ahsoka trailer, something I didn't think we were actually going to get. I thought we were going to get just like descriptions of it. I didn't think we'll actually get a trailer. I'll pull up some pictures for it. I got pictures working here. You're going to have to bear with me because for some reason it will only load one picture at a time and not multiple pictures. So you're just going to have to bear with me for a minute. But yeah, looks fucking amazing. It looks so good. It's Heir to the Empire. It's Heir to the Empire. That's literally what it is. And I am just so excited, and for some reason it doesn't want to load up all of the photos, so I'll just throw this one up on there at the moment. Let me go there. Yep, there we go. I'll just resize that just to cover my face. For some reason it won't let me load up all the photos, so I'll just leave it on this one for now. But yeah, no, the trailer looks really fucking great. I love that they weren't beating around the bush with it. They were just saying, hey, look, Ahsoka is here, Sabine is here, Hera is here, Chopper is here, Ezra is here. We get to see Ezra. I like that. Ezra is... We don't really get to see him in the trailer all that much. We just get to see him sort of just off to the side a little bit, like in a hologram. But I like that he looks exactly like Ezra does. He looks exactly the same as he did in the Rebels, except live action. I'm not sure who's playing him. I don't know whether it's that same guy who was rumored months and months ago. I think it might have been the guy who was in Aladdin, if I'm remembering correctly. But yeah, no, it looks absolutely fantastic. I like the style they're going, where it's very, obviously, because Dave Filoni, it's very Akira Kurosawa, very samurai stuff, like his episode of Ahsoka in the Mando show. Yeah, it looks amazing. It looks incredible. We get to see Thrawn. We get to see his back. We only get to see him from the back, but we get to see him, and he looks great. I'm intrigued to see who they have playing him, because there is rumors that it's going to be the guy who voiced him in Rebels, Lars Mikkelsen, which is Mads Mikkelsen's brother. But he's a bit too old for Thrawn. Thrawn I always depicted, especially during the Heir to the Empire era, as a more middle-aged man, like someone in their 40s. So I think he's a little bit too old, but I'm really looking forward to this. It's look great. The space battles all look good. I like the ominous tone that had throughout it, where something is coming. Something is coming. Well, obviously, we know that to be Thrawn. We get to see Elsbeth is back, the woman that Ahsoka fought in the Mandalorian episode, and yeah, looks amazing. I can't wait to watch that trailer a dozen more times. We get to see some Dark Jedi as well, which did not expect. I expected to see a Inquisitor, and we saw an Inquisitor, and I think they're fighting in like the Coruscant, like where in that episode of Mandalorian where they went to where they're decommissioning the Star Destroyers. It looked like that type of area, and an Inquisitor is quite interesting since it's post Return of the Jedi. You would have thought they would have all been wiped out by now. So having one come back is really interesting. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing how they factor in compared to the Dark Jedi, who was played by Ray Stevenson, the Punisher, which is awesome. I love his lightsaber as well, how it's like that off orange, and same with what I assume is his Padawan, that woman who I'm not sure who that actress is. but she's playing like his Padawan or something, or his partner. And I like that their lightsabers aren't the usual red; they're like that tinge of orange. And his lightsaber looks really cool because it's got like this, like a pommel sort of thing on the bottom of it, and then like a flat top. It looks quite interesting. I'm intrigued to see what they're going to do with those characters since we haven't seen those characters before. Yeah, looks amazing. Looks incredible. That you can tell they've actually putting the time and effort into it. Like there's a lot of money being spent on these shows, especially this latest season of Mandalorian and obviously Ahsoka, and obviously just because they're going to be building up to this big movie that apparently Dave Filoni is going to be doing. He's going to be doing this, I guess, like a tie-up movie sort of thing for Mandalorian, Ahsoka, Book of Boba Fett, I guess all of those shows. They didn't announce what it was going to be called, though. So I have to imagine it'll be like the ending of Heir to the Empire, Last Command or something. So I imagine it'll wrap up that, and then I imagine it's going to go into the whatever the movie they announced that's being directed by, I believe her name is Shimmerine Obadid Chinoy. She's directing a sequel trilogy film. That was like the next big announcement. She's directing this new sequel trilogy film, and she's having Rey come back, which is amazing because it's going to be set, I think they said 15 to 20 years after The Rise of Skywalker. So again, this is just something I did not expect. I expected them to announce there would be more movies coming. I didn't expect them to announce a director, who's going to be in it, and when it's going to be set. I just knew there was going to be new movies announced. I just did not know what. And yeah, if you can't tell, I'm very, very excited. Very excited. Comic 6 Explained 6 ads on Twitch. I apologize for the Twitch ads. I can't actually stop how many ads are actually on. I can stop ads or keep them on, and I'd rather keep them on than have to go through all the crap of turning them off because it's not exactly an easy thing, especially when I'm live. So I do apologize for that. You can watch with ad block on. I don't really mind at all. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to Rey returning. Her returning will be great, especially when we factor into the fact that she's probably going to be written by someone who's a little bit more competent in writing characters. I don't think they've announced who's writing these films. They've announced the director. They haven't announced who's writing it. So I have to imagine it's going to be someone they'll choose very carefully with. Maybe this woman director has someone in mind, or they've already chosen someone, they just haven't announced it yet. So it's going to be very interesting to see what they do with this, especially since it's going to be set 15 years after the end of Rise of Skywalker. So she's had quite a bit of time to train and develop herself as a person outside of being a Jedi. So I'm very much looking forward to all of that. So what else have we got going on here? What else did they announce? Yes, they announced a James Mangold film, which is going to be set right down the other end of the timeline, down at the back of the beginning of the timeline. Basically, is in the Dawn of the Jedi era is what they are calling it on the official timeline. And he's going to be talking about, I guess, the first Jedi, the first Force users, which is quite interesting. It's something that I've always wondered. And I know they did like a couple of comic book series about like the Dawn. I think it's literally called Dawn of the Jedi, about how they came in like these big weird like diamond-shaped pyramid ships, and they're like Force users who then developed like weapons like the Force saber and everything. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing how much he's going to cull from the legends plus new stuff in new canon to make this, I guess, Dawn of the Jedi, dawn of like what the Force users are in this universe. I think it's going to be quite interesting. And James Mangold, again, he's just been directed Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, which also got a trailer, and I'll talk about that a little later on. And I guess they're really happy with him with that, since he just went from that to this. So they must be very happy with him, and that gives me hope for that Indiana Jones is going to be good. And it looks good. It looks really good. But yeah, really excited for that sort of stuff. So they announced those three films: the Mangold one, the Dawn of the Jedi, Dave Filoni wrapping up the Mando universe, and the sequel trilogy set Rey headlined Star Wars film. And I guess maybe that's the 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 timeline they're going to be coming out. Maybe Mangold's is first, since I have to imagine he'll be doing this one now, unless he's got something else planned. I think we're still a couple of years off from Mando finishing up, unless it finishes up after Ahsoka, which comes out later on this year in August. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure where all of this is going to go. I know the sequel trilogy one, that'll probably be like the furthest one out, probably like 2027, 2028 maybe. But yeah, looks really cool. Uh, yeah, the Ahsoka Hera's coming back. There's so much just happening, just so much just to keep track of. I've got it over here on my second screen. I'm trying to like compile it all into something a bit, structured, so there's some structure to this video. Yeah, James Mangold's coming back. I like the there's a video going around of Daisy Ridley coming out onto stage and everyone's screaming. It's so good, so good. I'm glad, so glad she's back. I hope that also means Finn comes back, or maybe Poe. I'd love for Oscar Isaac to come back. I don't think he will, because I don't think he's too keen on Star Wars now, especially after those last ones. So I don't think he'll be coming back. If he does, it'll probably be for like a favor, like one scene or something. But Finn should definitely come back and be a Jedi, like he was trying to, like they were trying to develop him in those last couple of films. I hope he does come back. What was your reaction to name dropping Heir to the Empire? Fucking insane. Like I didn't think they would do that. It's not the right use of the terminology of Heir to the Empire. That's not what Heir to the Empire in the book Heir to the Empire means. But I don't care, because I know exactly what it means and what they were going for, and I'm intrigued to see how they're going to change the story. Because Heir to the Empire is a good story. It's an insane story though. There's clones of Jedi who went out into the unknown parts of the universe on like an outbound flight, and just cloned Lukes and everything. I wonder if we will actually get cloned Luke. I don't know if we will. That's like it's a bit too out there. Like that's the only part of that story I don't particularly like, the clone Luke. I get it in theory and get it what they were trying to do, but calling it Luke with the extra U is ridiculous. Is ridiculous. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how they are going to adapt it. I'm really looking forward to, and I there's been a couple of parts in the last couple of Mando episodes where I thought like they're going to appear. I really hope we get to see the Noghri assassins that we've seen in like Rook. We saw him in Rebels. There was a couple of moments in the last couple of episodes of Mando which I thought like, okay, this is where they're going to introduce the Noghri assassins. They're going to introduce them here. So I'm looking forward to seeing if they actually bring them back in this whatever Filoni is doing next. I think a CG Luke Skywalker could appear. Now that they've announced the film, the them building up with the CG Luke in season 2 of Mando, then Book of Boba Fett, then I assume in Ahsoka, and maybe in the last 2 episodes of Mando. I get it now that those have been sort of tests to see if they can create a character who can not hold a film, but more so be part of it, be more part of it on screen and interacting with people. Like he in the Book of Boba Fett episode, he was interacting with Ahsoka and Grogu and R2 and all this sort of stuff. So they're sort of building up to it, and I imagine that's what it's going to be in probably the film, because they'll have a bigger budget to do it with. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how they're going to do it. Personally, I would have just gone with a recast. I just would have just bit the bullet and just, okay, we'll recast someone who looks kind of like him. Like the guy they got for the face actor, I can't remember what his name is, but he's the guy that actually played Luke on set, and then before they put the face on, he would have been perfect because he has the same sort of facial structure and everything, and people can get over the fact that it's not Mark Hamill anymore, just because of the fact that, Mark Hamill's of a certain age. He can't do this anymore. He can be there on set and do references and stuff like he was doing through Book of Boba Fett, but I don't think he can play the character again. They should just give it to someone else. Give it to someone who can then play it for a couple more years. Check my phone. They can use any Jedi. Why they can use any Jedi, but I guess you've got to be within reason, depending on like storylines and stuff, like what they want to develop, who they want to develop, like what they've got going. Okay, so what else was announced? So yeah, we got Acolyte. I actually saw parts of the Acolyte trailer. There was like a leak. Wasn't a full clip on it. Oh wow, it's really raining outside. If my stream does go down, it'll be because my power gets knocked out, because there's quite a big storm happening outside at the moment. I didn't realize that until my headphones went off. Yeah, Acolyte. Looks great. The little teaser I saw looks really fantastic. Looks very High Republic, which I'm glad about. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing how they tackle High Republic in live action, because the designs are completely removed from what we've seen in the live action shows right now. They're more Akin 2 prequels, especially Phantom Menace. You know, the more regal dressings, and like the Jedi are dressed in like heavier robes and like gold inlay and everything, and it looks fantastic. I'm intrigued to see how it translates to live action. And what I could see in the trailer, like, it wasn't very good quality because it was filmed by like a potato. It looked great. It was Juna Suotomo, who played Chewbacca in the sequel trilogy, is back as a Jedi Master Wookiee, which is very exciting. It's not Burryaga, who is a actual Wookiee in the High Republic. I believe it can't be him because he, spoilers, technically dies. And I think this is set slightly after the High Republic, or that, like, whatever the comics are doing. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing all that. I'm hoping we get to see Yoda in the show, because Yoda was around during the High Republic, and he's a main character in the High Republic comics and books and stuff. So seeing him appear at this time would be really great. I think that would be really great. Sebastian Stan would be a good Luke. He does kind of look like Luke, Mark Hamill a little bit, a young Mark Hamill, a slightly older than 1983 Mark Hamill. I think the whole of Australia is getting storms tonight. I looked on our like weather app before, and like there was quite a big storm happening.